Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries. Let me put this out like this. I don't like this being in this position, guys. Give me a second here. I'm going to try to put this somewhere else so I can get to the topic of this video because I believe it's an important topic. Just give me a second here. All right, that's a little bit better with the lighting. Maybe I can cut the back light off. Oh, that's a lot better. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries. And the Bible says in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1, that in the latter time some are going to depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. The Bible also says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, that before the Antichrist even comes in the world scene, that there's going to be a massive falling away from the faith. This is a reality. The apostasy is part of Bible prophecy, and it is going to happen before the man of sin returns and even before Christ returns. I'm bringing this up because, like I said, there's a multitude of reasons on why people are going to walk away from Christianity. And one of the other reasons is that the Bible talks about in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1, it talks about doctrines of devils. Jesus warned his disciples at that time and his listeners, and he's warning us today that there's going to be false teachers, there are going to be false prophets, there are going to be false Christ in the last days. And then you got these people outside of Christianity that are lying through their teeth about some of the things that they're saying. According to atheist statistics, religion, that's the word we're going to use here, okay? Religion is on the decline, and that more and more people are identifying as atheists. Well, let's break down what's being said there a little bit here, okay? Number one, when they're saying that religion is on a decline, which religion are they talking about? Is it all religions, or is it a specific religion? That's number one. And then number two, the other question that we have to ask ourselves is this. Are people really identifying with atheists since they claim they don't have a religion? First and foremost, when I say that they're being dumb for using these stats, it's because of this. Okay, you know how you guys get those forms ever so often regarding about how many people are living in your home? Let's be real here for a minute. How many people are really being honest with those forms? They want to know how many people live in your home so that the mayor or the governor can know how much money to give that particular city, or how much money the government's going to give that particular city based on how many people live in each home and how many people ultimately live in the city and ultimately the state and whatnot, and then to go part of the president's budget or whatever, right? The fact of the matter is most people are not honest regarding how many people live in their homes, because when you look in these poor rural areas or the ghetto, a lot of times you'll have like you and your husband staying somewhere, and then talking about the women or whatever, you have yourself, you have your husband, you have your kids, but then you got a couple of relatives staying with you, and they've been with you a lot longer than you thought they was going to be with you. They'd be with you like a year and a half or something like that, right? And then when you get the little census form and you fill it out, oh, just me and my kids here, nobody else is here. Nope, nobody else is here. That's not true. There's somebody else there too. So they missed that person, and it goes and it goes as part of the stats. It's actually going about trying to prove like how many people lived in that house. And if you do that with all the houses in the neighborhood, think about it. You got these people that are on welfare. Okay, they're receiving their welfare checks, and they got people living with them. And when they get their census forms, they're not telling the government who's living with them, because if they do, they can lose their benefits. Okay? So because they're lying on these census forms, what they're actually doing is they're causing the government to either get less or more money to the city. The point of the matter is they're lying, and it becomes a stat. We have X amount of people living in a city when several thousands of people were not reported to actually be living there. You got people that live in Pennsylvania that's still claiming they're living in New Jersey. I know people that are living in Texas that are still claiming they're living in New Jersey. All of the mail still comes here, or they get all the information here, and yet you got a person living in Texas, and that person is not going to be counted as a person living in Texas. And these stats have failures all over the place. So now, on certain forms, they ask you, what is your race, color, religion, creed, or whatever they be asking you on there. I admit that I have not been honest on those forms. I even leave it blank sometimes. There's a lot of people out there leave it blank because, some of us got this little paranoia about New World Order or the Antichrist come knocking on our door and taking us away and whatnot. So we don't tell people all the time on those forums what it is that we believe. You got people out there saying, oh, I'm not a Christian now. They won't come to my home and cut my head off. You got people doing that kind of thing. So what happens is you get these atheists, oh, I wonder how many religious people are on the earth. And then they go on the internet and they believe that the statistics that they're looking at is accurate. Like, the very fact that I, as a grown man, have to get on here and explain to other grown people about what I know you people are doing behind in your own homes is ridiculous. But anyway, and for those of you who are Christians out there and those of you who actually do believe that God exists, you all know what I'm talking about here. I'm not saying that you're doing it, but we know people who practice this stuff all the time. But this is the thing. Because the census or because a statistic shows up on the internet, that means half of America is atheist or identifies as being an atheist, which is ridiculous. On none of those forums, and this is for the Hebrew Israelites out there, okay? This is going to prove I'm being fair, okay? This is for all the Hebrew Israelites. When you look at that form and ask you what religion are you, does it say Hebrew Israelite on there? And for you Luciferians out there, does it say Luciferian on there? Or for you Satanists out there, does it say Satanist on there? I know it has other on there, and a lot of people simply don't fill that stuff out. So, again, so why are atheists using a flawed system to try to determine how many religious people are in the world? See, I always say this. If you want to know the reality of whether or not religion is dying, walk outside your house. That's all you got. Walk outside your house. Doesn't matter what country you're living in. Doesn't matter what state you're living in. Walk outside your house. Say, listen, let me ask you something. Do you have a religion? First thing going through atheist head, oh, I ain't a Christian. Yet they tell us over and over, guys, for those of you who are theists, this is for you guys. They are constantly telling us that we need to read a dictionary. Yet they don't even know what religion is. Okay? It's funny. I've heard people say that my job is my religion. My hobby is my religion. You know what I mean? Watching this show every week is my religion. They don't even understand what it is they're talking about. They have a very specific thing that they're talking about, and it's usually Christianity or Islam. They're not even talking about Judaism half the time. You ever hear an atheist get on here and go, well, the population of Hebrew Israelites in America is, based on the stats. So here's the thing now, okay? So they use these statistics to try to say, oh, most people don't identify as being religious in a European country. And look at look how we don't have no crime here. And look how peaceful our nation is. And we have no religion. And when we start asking, I was like, that's pretty interesting. What religion are you talking about? And before you get the pause and thinking about it, they say, oh, we're talking about any religion. And then when you get to talking to them, you know that they're talking about Christianity. Well, Christianity is one religion. Are you telling me that you people don't have no religion whatsoever? They don't have a belief in a deistic God or any kind of God whatsoever? Pantheistic God, anything like that? May I see the statistics on that, please? Well, G-Man, we haven't really evolved yet. Well, G-Man, we haven't really evolved yet, G-Man, to be able to tell you, whether or not people are pantheists or Luciferians or anything like that. It's just unbelievable. I was just watching an old video where Bill Maher was talking to, is it Bill Maher? Is that the guy who's the atheist? The guy who claims he's an atheist? I think he was talking to Barack Obama, and he was like, I appreciate you giving us non-believers some time, because we know that half the country identifies with being an atheist. Which is honestly, I think it's Bill Maher, I think. If it's not him, I don't know what that guy's name is. Yeah, I think Bill Maher is an atheist, and he was like, thank you, Mr. Obama. He was talking directly to him about giving the non-believers out there a shout out in his inauguration address. Okay. Wow, I just met another Jersey atheist. But by the way, for the person that says you're a Jersey atheist, you are a dying breed. I know you, and I know psychopath atheists. There's a lot of people here that live in New Jersey. A lot. So, 2 people. Anyway, so The bottom line is, oh, no, actually, I know another one. I know one that lives in Union City. That's 3. Wait. I know another one in Jersey City. That's 4. Out of what, 500,000 people, I think. I gotta find out how many people live in New Jersey. I gotta look at the stats one day. Actually, it's gotta be more than that. Ain't no 500,000. I mean, Jersey City alone has close to 1 million people living there. No, I wouldn't say 1 million, but anyway, so the bottom line is that these people try to convince you, the audience, where they try to intentionally deceive you by going, or maybe they're just plain ignorant, where they're just saying, well, what convinced me that there are more atheists in the country than we let up is because I went to look at these statistics, and these statistics told me that there's a lot of atheists here. Again, people lie on those things all the time. That's why I don't believe it's a reliable source to be able to get the logistics of how many atheists are actually in the United States of America. That's why I always jokingly say that there's only about 2 to 3% of them in the entire country. There's really not that many. Like they get a rally and they get like 5,000 people together and they think they did something. They should see what happens when the church or a religious organization wants to do something, and see how many people we get together. I mean, I think for a while, even though I forget the particular religion, it might be Islam or whatever, or the Nation of Islam, there was a 1 million man march. And I'd like to see you atheists get 1 million people together and go march in D.C. I would love to be able to see that one. And by the way, 1 million men on top of that happen to be atheists. I would love to see you people do that. So anyway, what about 1 million women that claim to be atheists? Countrywide, get together and do something in Washington. It'll never happen because there ain't that many of you. So, oh, and you want to know how I know this? Because reality is when I go outside my door, it doesn't matter what state in the union I go to. Finding an atheist is extremely hard to do, which is why a lot of us have to actually come on the internet to actually talk to one of you who identify with being an atheist. Because if you ask me, none of you are. So stop using the statistics because they're not accurate. Okay, people lie on those things all the time, and the very fact that you're holding to a lie is hilarious to determine how many. Now, mind you, you could say, G-Man, we can say that about you. We can say that. Well, how do you know how many Christians there are out there? Well, let's just say we don't want to use the stats that you're using. Let's just say, and I would never do this, by the way. I would not agree to do this, but let's just say we take the churches, right? Let's say we take all the churches out there and we ask, okay, out of everybody in your congregations, how many of them say that they're Christian? We don't question their claim. We don't do anything like that. Like you're literally outnumbered like 1,000 to 1. I just want to let you guys know that. Like you're really outnumbered here in the U.S. I really want to let you know that. And if we go worldwide, I would say you're outnumbered about 25,000 to 1, 30,000 to 1, 50,000 to 1. Most people haven't even, most younger people, I would say from 13 and under, don't even know what an atheist is. They don't even know what an atheist is. I didn't know what an atheist was until I was 30-something. So, I'm just saying. So, I definitely believe that statistics is horrible. Let me see something here. Alf Benny says, when I was a kid, I hardly met atheists. Now I meet them all the time, and they are usually younger than me. And then Kempa Ben Yisrael said, wow. Okay. So, yeah, so stats are a really bad way to do it. So the funny thing is this. The reason why people are identifying as being an atheist, and I'm going to mention something here, is because of YouTube. You see, they give you this lazy definition, and they say that you're an atheist if you don't believe any gods exist. If you believe in 0 gods, that makes you an atheist. On this side of YouTube. On this side of YouTube, if you believe in any supernatural, if you don't believe in any supernatural gods, that makes you an atheist. That's not the same thing. See how the definitions change? Hold on a minute. Then when you get over here to dishonest Dillahunty, this is what he says. If you lack a belief in a god or gods, that makes you an atheist. So they don't even got a definition that they agree with. So This is where I come in. I come in and I say, you want to know what? If I can prove that you at least will acknowledge at least one God, then you're not an atheist. The atheist agrees, and he should agree, because if he believes in at least one God, he's not an atheist. I do one or two things, and then end the conversation rather quickly. All I got to do is first get them to what I recently been doing is show them that God is statistically possible. I'll be right back. Hold on. Can I help you? Okay. All right. Let me get it right now. Hold on. Yeah. All right. I'm doing something right now. When she gets here, let me know. All right. Okay. So, what was I saying? Okay. Yeah. So I proved that statistically speaking, that a God probably does exist. And once I get the atheists to do that, then, not to mention, what I like to do is to show them that they know that God exists, they just suppress the truth and unrighteousness. But the other thing is, what's really fun is to make them define what they say they don't believe. And 100% of the time, it's the Christian God. That's the only God they know how to define. They can't even define a deistic God. They can't define a pantheistic God. They can't define a pagan God. But they always know how to define the Christian God. And they say that that's the God they lack a belief in. The moment you do that, you're not an atheist no more. You can't tell me that you don't believe in gods and the only God that you lack a belief in is a Christian God. That is ridiculous. So, this is one of the reasons why I say atheists don't exist. I think that you have a lot of misotheists. People are angry at God. People hate him. They say a lot of horrible things about him. And then you have people, when I say God, I'm talking about the Christian God. Okay? They're not misotheistic or anti-theistic about all gods. And this is something I wish a lot of people would get. They don't hate Allah. If they did, we would see videos with them hating on him. They don't hate well, come and think about it, they don't hate any pagan god that I know of. And if they did, you would see the expression in all these videos that they would make. And they don't hate any deistic God because they don't know nothing about him, because he's not a personal one. But they always get mad when you talk about one God. The one God that they get angry when you attack, and I'm referring to the atheist community, is when you go after their intellect. You can't go after their intellect, and you can't deal with their science. Because if you touch that, you have started a war. They will religiously come after you if you go after the intellect and you go after their science. You say a word about evolution, it is war. Talk about starving kids, you can talk about all the other stuff, but don't talk about evolution. Don't talk about abiogenesis, or it's over for you and your channel. They're going to come and downvote all of your videos. They're going to say all kinds of horrible and disgusting things about you. And don't talk about their precious degrees, because if you do, it is over. They are coming to get you. They're coming to get you. But they don't believe in a God, and they don't got a religion. There are a lot of non-believers now that's getting pretty embarrassed with not even mentioning themselves. You know, I don't want to label on me, because I don't like how these YouTube atheists are acting on YouTube, turning atheism into a religion and a whole movement and whatnot. So, and by the way, these are facts. You can actually type this stuff up on YouTube and you can find it, and you'll see people are pretty embarrassed right now with this whole new atheism that's here on the internet, and this neo-Darwinianism that they're holding to, and all this other stuff and whatnot. So, no, you don't have to pray to, and this is another thing that you guys don't understand. You don't gotta pray to a God in order to be a theist, or in order to recognize a God. It's like, where are you guys getting your information from? Listen to me. You can be an atheist or identify one or make believe to be one or whatever it is that you do in your free time. I'm going to continue to be a Christian, but I'm going to tell you something about something, okay? I'm going to tell you something. Just because Matt Dillahunty says it doesn't mean it's true. I'm sorry. I care about you enough to tell you that. Matt Dillahunty is not as smart as you guys make him out to be. If Matt Dillahunty debated, who do you guys complete? Who did they hand that award to this year? I don't even know because I didn't even watch it. They gave somebody the Dumb Blank of the Year award. If Matt Dillahunty debated that person, Matt Dillahunty would get stomped. I think Tommy Hall was in there, was in second place or something like that. I nominate Tommy Hall to destroy Matt Dillahunty. I nominate him. He can represent me. I'm so confident Tommy Hall will destroy Matt Dillahunty. And don't even get me started on true empiricism and Antonio. Antonio will, on the abortion issue, any rape issue he wants to talk about, Antonio will use Matt Dillahunty as a mop. And Antonio can represent me. True empiricism is smarter than most of this atheist community. I'm sorry. He's smarter than most of these people in the atheist community. In the sense that he's more grounded and he's better at debating than a lot of you. He's just better at it. He's just better at it. And I'm not trying to be insultive or nothing like that. But you guys don't know what y'all do. I'm just in a room with somebody named Bob. And Bob, this guy wasn't ready for war. This guy wasn't ready for battle. He came in there, G-Man, you shouldn't have did this. And I said, well, what's your basis for it? That was the quickest conversation I ever had in my life. It was the quickest conversation I ever had in my life. What is the moral basis for you to call me a liar? And the drool coming out of his mouth. Come on now, seriously. I got a lot of these test tube babies, these chemicals, these walking barrels of chemicals called who identify as evolutionists, telling me that I'm a liar, but can't give me a moral basis for why I'm a liar. You guys ever want to have fun with an atheist who wants to act holier than thou? Ask them what is the moral basis for their claims. That's what you got to do. Conversation over. And then make them stick to it. That would drive them crazy. Oh, my moral basis is on empathy. Empathy? Well, where's my empathy? Oh, okay. I didn't mean empathy. My moral basis is based on my own personal opinion. Oh, okay, cool. I don't care about what your opinion is. And then go about your business. Because opinion doesn't necessarily mean fact. So, I just wanted to make this quick video, guys, to talk about how atheists need to stop being stupid and using these statistics to try to argue that religion's on a decline. Because when I go outside, I see some of the most religious people out there. When I get on YouTube, some of these atheists are more religious than me. I'm dead up. Some of these people on here are more religious than I am. It's almost embarrassing a little bit for me to be a Christian, to be a follower of Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? And to be a person that prays and reads his Bible and goes out there and try to put these things into practice, and then have a liar get on here, claim to be an atheist who's not really an atheist, have these tenets of faith that they follow regarding, I shall defend science with all of my heart, life, and ability. I shall not let no one disrespect evolution in my presence. I shall not respect religion. I shall always believe Matt Dillahunty is smarter than everyone else on the earth. I shall. And then walking by those tenets, you get destroyed every time you talk to a theist. I can assure you guys, if an atheist hates G-Man, it is for good reason. I'll be right back. Are you a shepherd? So I apologize for that, guys. I just had a customer and took a lot longer than normal. Had a bit of a disagreement with them. But anyway, so yeah, I think you guys are being really dumb by using these stats in order to determine how many. Yes, a customer, yes. Yeah, so I think you guys are being really dumb by going by statistics in order to determine how many religious people you believe are in the world. You guys need to understand something. If you're gonna have a conversation with somebody other than yourself and other than another atheist, you need to start defining your terms. When you say religious, what do you mean by that? We know in advance that you're talking about Christians. If you don't believe in Christianity, you're not an atheist. It's just dumb. Stop thinking that. If you're not a Christian or you're not a Muslim, you can't say you're an atheist. It's just dumb. You can't sit there and say you don't believe in any gods without even knowing what the God concept is to begin with. It's like you guys are making an argument from ignorance or something. Doc Savage, no one isn't saying that the census is not good to determine the size of our populations. I believe that the way atheists are going about to determine how many religious people are in America and going by and my battery's almost dead. I believe that the way they're presently going about, I'm at 9%. I believe that the way that they're going about determining how many religious people in this country is stupid. And I think that the best way, and I know what they're going to argue in a response video. Oh, but G-Man, we're going by religious sites. They're telling us how many religious people are in these countries. So G-Man just pwned his own religious people. No, that's what you're going to say. And when I see that video, I will respond to it. Because that's probably just as dumb as appealing to the stats, to be honest. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. If you run into an atheist that says that religion is dying in America, just keep walking. It's kind of like when you see the Hebrew Israelites going, "Thus saith the Lord." Just keep walking. Just keep walking. When you hear an atheist go, "Oh, religion is dying in America," just keep walking. They didn't take their medication that day. You know, they're a little bit crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. Religion in America is alive and well. Trust you me when I say that. Till next time, guys, it's been another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries, letting you all know to read your Bible and do what it says. And again, if you see these crazy behind people that says that religion's dying, keep it moving because they're crazy. God bless.